This is Michael Cohen. I'm a Dallas elder law and estate planning attorney, and I'm joined with my co-host, Don Crawford Jr., who so graciously agreed to continue to be a co-host. We've been doing a radio show for 13 years. He sold his radio station, and he's agreed to continue to be a co-host with me because he always had spontaneous questions. I never knew what he would ask, and well, we just continued that trend here, except for it's an audio visual podcast. So today's topic is going to be on frequent flyer miles. What
Now, for the
happens?
record, they're not even called frequent flyer miles anymore. Just, I know you're aging
Oh, are they
yourself.
called
They're
mileage
called
points or what are they?
mileage plus or points or Delta miles or
Yeah,
American
there's,
miles.
yeah, Delta has Sky Miles,
Right.
um, American Advantage, United,
Mileage? Mileage points?
yeah, something like that. They're all called their own thing.
Right.
Points, miles. I'm so old. I remember when there wasn't a Google. So,
Right.
So I may call things something from the past. You'll have to forgive me.
We get it.
Frequent flyer miles or points, whichever the program may be. How do you deal with it? It used to be a lot more advantageous, quite frankly, than it is today. Because now, just like using of mileage, I used to have a credit. I have a American Advantage credit
Uh-huh.
card,
Okay.
but I don't use it. I stopped using that hardly a long time ago because I thought it was more beneficial, quite frankly, to get cash back. Now you travel all the time, or have been in the past at least, and so you must have racked up thousands and thousands and thousands of miles. So you probably should take advantage of it. In fact, I think the moral of the story is use it or lose it.
Basically.
I'm going to say today because everything is tougher. Just like on the frequent flyer miles, when you use it, you can't even use as much as you used to because you have to. It used to be you could go with lesser miles to Hawaii or whatever you wanted to go to. Now, well, we'll see
Yeah.
when we could get you in, and it's
Right.
going to be at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday or something, and that's it
With
for
three with
Tuesday.
three layovers, and it's twice the mileage of what it used to be. That's also problematic.
Yeah, yeah. So things aren't what they used to be. But and so it used to be more often that we would, in the old days, we would a lot of times, or at least a lot more often than we do today, we'd mention about the frequent flyer miles and how it was to be transferred or who is to be transferred to.
Mhm.
It's less common nowadays because just about all of the different airlines say, hey, you no longer have rights. It's not your property. So too bad. I
Uh,
think the worst two would be Southwest and Delta.
okay.
Um, Southwest says they don't even have a policy. They just say it's our personal property, it's our property, not yours. You automatically stops, forfeits everything. So you bet if you're going to do something, you better, if you see you're dying, you better transfer it. You might have to pay a fee. You might transfer it to the extent that you can before you die. And the same thing with Delta. But except for Delta in their policy. Now, each one of these airlines, they actually have a policy and you have to read the policies. So what I'm telling you today was the policies that I read online for each airline. But again, this could change from time to time. Just like they've changed it in the past, this could change. Delta says, I don't care if you're getting divorced. I don't care if you died. I don't care if somebody has a creditor issue where they try to collect against it. No, too bad, so sad. It's not yours. Go away. And so,
Somebody once said, "Follow the money," and I think it's all about the money in the end.
yeah, yeah. So, I mean, again, with Delta, same type of thing. If you're going to use it, probably you ought to use it or transfer it beforehand. Or at least maybe have somebody have access to your account
Right.
and maybe they could transfer it and pay a fee. And then maybe somebody else could use the mileage somehow.
Makes sense.
American is a little bit better. America, even though it says it's not your property, they reserve the right, the discretion to kind of look at the facts. So if you are, first of all, they have to, again, kind of like what we talked about. We talked on a recent podcast about Facebook. And on Facebook, we said, well, how do you prove it? Well, you're going to have to show that somebody died. All right, so the death certificate would do that. And then who would be have the authority to deal with your mileage? Well, is it going to be the executor? Yeah, maybe. Or maybe a power of attorney is sometimes. But the executor would be of your will. And they would say, well, who is going to be the beneficiary? Well, are you going to say in your will who the beneficiary is? Who's in charge? Who's the executor? Who gets it? Prove that you're dead. And then maybe we'll give you some benefit after you pay the applicable transfer fees. Then, and we're going to give 6 months for in case there's some conflicting claim. Then we want to make sure that before we transfer anything, we'll see if there's anybody else making a claim. So American says, well, we leave it up to our own discretion, but at least they leave that up. Now, if you're having a divorce, so the same thing. Is there a court order? Give me the proof. Does it say, give me the miles? Who gets the miles? So they don't have to do anything, but they might do something. So they're better than Southwest, which has no policy at all, and Delta, which says, I don't care if you are getting divorced. We specifically say everything. Too bad. We're not going to deal with it. United is a little bit more along the lines of American, although it's not that 6 month wait. They pretty much, again, every one of our airlines has gone to the point where they say, this is not yours, it's ours, and we'll make the decision. It's ours though. So Delta and Southwest, oh, too bad, so sad. Uh,
Yeah.
United says again, it's up to us. We'll decide. And sometimes there's pools, and sometimes there's these different pools where you could be with other people and you could transfer your mileage to somebody else. But again, they, like American, would need some sort of proof. All right, did the person die? Did the person, who has the authority over that? Who's the beneficiary? Give us the proof. Death, authority, and who's the beneficiary. And then we'll decide whether we honor that after you pay our fees for transfer.
Right, of course. There's the money thing we talked about. It's sad to hear that, to use your word again. Um, but that's the way it is. And what's also fascinating is that both American Airlines and Southwest, two of the four, are right here in Dallas, Texas. Their hubs are
Right.
right here. So if you and I want to go picket them, maybe we could do that this Saturday if you're free.
Yeah, well, I would do that. Except, last week I would say, well, it wasn't their fault, but I was going on Southwest. I was going from LaGuardia uh, to uh, to Dallas. Unfortunately, the bone I had to pick with Southwest. It wasn't really their fault. It was weather related, but they canceled our flight. Well, I was going to be meeting with people and things like that, and they wanted. And not only did they cancel the flight, they said we won't be able to get you out for 2 more days. But we were able to get out the next day. Well, that's my bone to pick. So anyway, the other things about mileage, sometimes we put in the wills, um, about especially if somebody has a lot of mileage. And it could be on points too, on other things like hotel points as well. A lot of times people want to make it into a gift certificate. Sometimes you could do that, especially on like hotels or some credit cards. They'll give you a gift certificate.
Right.
So those things should be utilized. But the moral of the story is if you do have a lot of mileage, you should maybe mention that in your estate planning document, your will. However, the real moral is you need to either transfer it or use it before you die so you don't have to deal with their rules and their being in control.
Points, miles, assets, it's all money in the end. And it's worth something. So as a result, I would just make sure that you do transfer it, as you said. And the way to make sure you get that accomplished and other things accomplished, to attend Michael's next workshop, which is scheduled for August 16th, which is a Saturday. It's in person. It's free. He's been doing them for decades now, it seems like, and they're very beneficial. Michael?
Yeah, our next workshop is on August the 16th. It is free. It's 2 hours. It's on estate planning, although people ask questions about Medicaid. I've never had a question about frequent flyer miles that I can recall. Maybe there has been once or twice, but we do talk about it with a lot of clients. And I mean, I just did a will this week that mentioned every airline and every hotel that we made specific reference to the different place that they had points and where it was going and who's going to be in
Good,
charge and where the points go or mileage goes.
good.
And so anyway, we ask people what they want to know. And for 2 hours, we have a small presentation that kind of goes over the basics, but we see what people want to know. And so every workshop is different.
Mhm.
It's free. And if you go to that free estate planning essentials workshop, we also give you a free 1 hour vision meeting. So you get 3 free hours of estate planning without charge. And if you don't do anything, that's fine. I'm not asking you to do anything. It's just an opportunity for you to see if your estate plan is done the way you'd like. So if you want to go to that free estate planning essentials workshop on August the 16th at 10 o'clock at the conference center in our building, which is just south of Medical City, actually just north of Medical City Hospital, all you have to do is call 214-720-0102. That's 214-720-0102, or sign up online at DallasElderLawyer.com. DallasElderLawyer.com.
Our Dallas elder lawyer, Michael Cohen, we thank you, sir.
Thank you, Don. Yeah. Let me stop this.